know who running the city. Walk 'em like a dog. 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 Walk 'em like a dog.
Hey man, I'm trying to stay focused. The NFL, they won't let me. It's like it's pounding inside me. Sometimes I think it's behind me.
You know who running the city. You know who running the city. Browns getting gritty, like tap water from a city. You know who running the city. You know who running the city. The Cleveland Browns getting gritty, like tap water from a city. I got the keys to my city. The dog pound is getting gritty. They stampeding through the city. Hey, Cleveland's on fire. Come check out the city. The Browns is hot like it's sunny. We tailgating every Sunday. Like prime time on the Monday, we hitting them hard and leaving them running. Hey, Miles Garrett, he's a beast. It's hard to keep him on the leash. You don't believe me? Check the street. We hot in the kitchen and bringing the heat. Rebecca Mayfield on the field. The competition getting killed. Hold it, Beckham running routes. We had to get him out the house. Stephen A, shut your mouth. My city's on fire. Ain't no putting it out. You know who running the city. You know who running the city. The Cleveland Browns getting gritty, like tap water from a city. You know who running the city. You know who running the city. The Cleveland Browns getting gritty, like tap water from a city.
Man, I'm trying to stay focused. The NFL, they won't let me. It's like it's pounding inside me. Sometimes I think it's behind me.
You know who running the city. You know who running the city. The Cleveland Browns getting gritty, like tap water from a city. You know who running the city. You know who running the city. The Cleveland Browns getting gritty, like tap water from a city. Cut the whole city down the ride. We keep a spirit in the sky. We 747 bound. Yeah, we ain't never coming down. Drop us off in the stands with 100,000 Brown fans. You know what's going down with your orange and brown. You better back it up. We ain't playing. Hey, fair shank ain't no robbery. I'm a Brown fan, so don't knock me. If they win or lose, I ain't singing the blues. We still cheering them on. You can't stop me. We pushing through cause we coming. Get Chill the ball and he's running. Boy, ain't no future in stunting. We a playoff team, so stop fronting. You know who running the city. You know who running the city. The Cleveland Browns getting gritty, like tap water from a city. You know who running the city. You know who running the city. The Cleveland Browns getting gritty, like tap water from a city. You know who running the city. You know who running the city. The Cleveland Browns getting gritty, like tap water from a city. You know who running the city. You know who running the city. The Cleveland Browns getting gritty, like tap water from a city. Walk 'em like a dog. 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 We gon' walk 'em like a dog. Walk 'em like a dog. We gon' walk 'em like a dog. Walk 'em like a dog. We gon' walk 'em like a dog. Walk 'em like a dog.
Yes.
Walk 'em like a dog. Walk 'em like a dog. We gon' walk 'em like a dog.
Walk 'em like a dog is in the building. What's up? I'm Mick Beats, and I'm filling in for my man. Oops, let me see. I'm filling in for my man OG Shanksta, y'all. He has a really bad toothache right now, and I'm just filling in so we can make the show do what it do and keep it going. And I got some special guests in the house today. I got some real special guests. Give it up right here now we got Cleo Miller, former Cleveland Browns player Cleo Miller in the house. And we also got Patrick Antos in the house. Sports enthusiasts. What's up, fellas?
Fine. How are you doing this evening?
Excellent,
Doing great,
man.
McKinley. Thanks for having me.
Excellent, excellent. Show the screen with Cleo and them, Makai. Oh my goodness, there you go, fellas. What's up, man? How y'all been?
I'm doing fine. I can't speak for Patrick, but I'm doing fine for right now. I'm just a little frustrated, because the Browns lost the game. But other than that, I'm doing fine.
Well, that's
Yeah, I'll second that. It was a valiant effort, but at the same time, not sure what you can expect when you got 18 players out for COVID-19. And, there's still a chance they could make the playoffs. They definitely got to win all 3 games, but
right.
Valiant effort to say the least.
Right. Well, hey,
That number went up to 24, not 18. It went up to 24.
It went up to 24. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hold on for just 1 second, fellas. I just want to say I'm grateful for you guys to be here. And it's going to be a short podcast today, audience. just for the audience to let y'all know, because OG Shanksta's not here, I'm filling in. But we wanted to keep the show rolling and have our special guest in. And I want to get right into it and talk about what happened, the obvious, the elephant in the room,
Yeah.
should we say. Man, let's start off, Cleo. For those who are watching who do not know, tell us a little background about yourself and who are you and what you've been doing, man.
Well, actually, as I say, I'm a former Cleveland Browns. I played with the Browns from 1975 to 1982. Wasn't new to the NFL at the time because I played a year and a half with the Kansas City Chiefs as well.
Mm.
For all of you fans out there, I was one of those cardiac kids, and Greg Pruitt and I were in the backfield together. So I had some great years here in Cleveland. I really, truly enjoyed being here. And Cleveland fans are the best fans there in the world. They are the heartbeat of the city of Cleveland. So give yourselves a big round of applause because I really appreciate you all cheering for me and actually keeping up the banner with the Cleveland Browns over the years when they were not winning. And now they begin to win just a little bit. But thank you all very much. I appreciate you as fans.
Cleo Miller, give it up. Now,
I'm lucky to be on this podcast with you, Cleo. I was born in 1980, so I didn't get a chance to check any of your games, but my parents loved those teams back then, back in the late 70s and early 80s, and they have very fond memories of that.
Well, great. I just I just cheered. I just love the depth, love the fans to death. And the history has been passed from generation to generation about some of the things that we as players have done. So you know a little bit about it because it's been passed to you. So I appreciate even you recognizing us, as being parts of the Cleveland Browns establishment.
right.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, Patrick, how long have you been a Cleveland Browns fan?
Oh man, since I was born. I mean, it was just bred into me. I came from Sharon, Pennsylvania, but my family were Indians, Browns, Cavs fans, from day one. And I mean, I was only, 6, 7, 8 years old, when the, Bernie Kosar days, but, my first, induction to them was seeing the fumble in the drive, and at the time I didn't necessarily get it, but I knew it hurt, and then to have to basically, be a fan through most of my life, just seeing, poor football and the team being moved, it was such a heartbreaking time, but I just never stopped caring about the team, even though 1-15, 0-16, they have such a rich history and there's so many great Cleveland Browns players. So it's just been one of those things that, you live and die with them. I mean, you died a lot with them for sure. There was many, many days where you thought to yourself, oh man, am I going to continue to watch this? But this, brief period here, over the past, couple of years has been nice to watch. But, last night was just one of those things where, it was such a heartbreaker. It was just one missed field goal, that literally, I mean, it's, Cleo knows this probably better than anybody, being that he played. The littlest things in some cases can make the entire game. And literally a missed field goal from a guy who was lights out for the first, half of the season to now, they call a timeout and iced him like crazy. I think I've seen that work twice in my entire 41 years of somebody icing the kicker and having that happen. It's unbelievable. So,
Man.
like I said, valiant effort, but you got that lead. You pushed so hard for it. I mean, Myles Garrett is limping around the field. He's doing everything he possibly can to try and help the team win. And to have that sort of happen, I'm sure there was a lot of guys in the locker room that were feeling pretty beat up after that game, not only from, overall playing it, but I think there was probably a little bit of hurt feelings there for letting each other down and things like that. So, you got 3 games left. You got to win them all. Hopefully they can get healthy and continue to do that.
Yeah, we got to win them all. That's the only chance we got of getting in the playoffs. Even if we win them all, Cleo, do we still get into the playoffs?
Well, I won't go so far as to say that. You possibly can lose another game and still get in the playoffs,
Yeah, you can
depending on
absolutely.
Really?
depending on the division, because they got to play. They've got to play the Cincinnati Bengals
Yep.
again,
Yep.
and they're leading right now, leading the division, and you're only one game out.
Right.
So if they can lose any of those, if they lose in those games and you win, then you have an opportunity to go back in first place. You can if you win two games and you knock out Cincinnati on one of the games that they play, and they lose another game to someone else, you're right there. Pittsburgh is, they've only, I don't think Pittsburgh's going to actually win, and Baltimore going to have a problem too. So if we can lose one more game, if they lose another game, then hey, we're right there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Wow.
Baltimore, if right now with Cincinnati leading, Cleveland's got the first win against Cincinnati. They got a win against Baltimore. That other game with Pittsburgh is a huge game too. So really it does, like Cleo said, it really does come down to the division and how all four of these teams going into those final three games really finish out. So it wasn't all total doom and gloom. It would have been a lot better if they had won last night. That would have put them in the top of the division, really put them in the driver's seat those last three games. But at the same time, though, if they can't get these guys back healthy, going to Green Bay, having to play at Lambeau on Christmas Day, the way Aaron Rodgers is playing right now,
Wow.
I just don't feel very comfortable with that. Plus, you lost John Johnson last night. Again, he's week to week. They can't seem to move the line of scrimmage now. They, as a run first team, when you're not really able to get the ball moving down the field, it's a lot of coin toss situations right now for these Browns. It's like you don't know A, what team is going to show up, and B, who is actually going to be able to show up.
So in other words, on Christmas Day, Santa needs to come and sprinkle a little miracle on the Browns before they head to Tampa Bay, right?
Well, the thing you have to understand, on any given day, any team can beat any team. As it's been proven over and over again.
That's right.
Just look at what just happened to the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, yeah. Wow. What a game that was. Holy moly.
Green Bay just beat up on them. Look at what happened to the Cincinnati Bengals with Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And it goes on and on and on. So I don't put it past the Browns being able to actually beat the Green Bay Packers on Christmas Day.
I don't disagree.
And then you look at how close that was that Pittsburgh played the Green Bay Packers, and they just won that game, barely won the game.
Yeah,
So
Baltimore.
Yeah. So if we can really just get our team together, get some of those players back in there, and they're all hitting on the same tune and fighting, we could be there.
Now let me ask you this, Cleo, as a former player, have you seen the offense? This year being a little bit more stale compared to last year. It just seems like, the guys they need to step up and make some plays.
I agree.
It just seems like it's a different offense this year, and the play calling has been poor in a lot of situations. What do you think?
They took a step back.
Well, they're playing too conservative.
Yeah.
Just like it, and I'll go back to the game they just played and lost to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Had they stopped just trying to run the ball and play the same type of ball that they were actually playing through the whole game, they could have won that game. Because instead of trying to run the ball, they could have thrown for it to get the first down.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that.
And then when you look around and you talk about them trying to keep the teams going, the prevent defense is only inviting them to move the ball down in the area where they can kick field goals.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of that, but the thing also, through the years, there's been a lot of injuries, and I don't like to using injuries for excuse. But when you got 24 guys out,
Yeah.
and you're playing against a team who's got their starting quarterback and got the majority of their team there, and they just barely beat. And that was a yeoman's job. But to go back to your question, a lot of guys have not been playing up to their potential this year, and it's been this has been a disappointment. And again, when you're a coach, teams look at coaches and how they call plays and stuff. But the same token, you look at them, and you got to be able to go in the locker room at the halftime and make adjustments.
Yep.
And that just did not seem to be adjustments made, especially on the defense this year. And people know exactly what they're doing and just eating them up. They know that Garrett is going to be the one that's going to go out all harder trying to get to the quarterback, and they wait until he rush in, and then they go on the outside of it. You got to be able to have a linebacker and stuff that's working with him that's going to cover up for when he's rushing up the field. Yep. You don't do that, you're opening up everything. So, then you got guys. Excuse me.
I was going to say something. Go ahead.
No, you can go. But anyway, so the bottom line is that there was not enough adjustments made this year to compensate the talent that they had, and then there are a lot of guys injured too that weren't able to step up and do the job as well.
Yeah, makes sense.
So hold that thought for a minute, because we got a couple people chiming in. We did a Christmas party this weekend, and I met a couple people, and they said they was going to tune into the podcast. So we got some new Dawg. So we got some new fans, and we call our fans at Welcome Like a Dog podcast here, Dog Walkers. So I'm going to introduce a couple of names here. We got Devontae Carson, and actually Devontae and William Carswell. Give it up. That's a husband and wife team. They said they like our podcast. They wanted to tune in, and they said we can expect to win when we almost won. Hold on. What does that mean?
What? I was just about to say the same thing. I'm like,
that's a saying right there, I guess. We can expect to win when we almost won. Shout out to Devontae and William Carswell. Shout out to them. Give it up for them, Kai.
Boom, 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 boom.
So I was saying, hey Cleo, I was saying hold that thought. So I want to get back to kind of like what you were saying. So we had actually 24 people out due to COVID. The question is, we got a Saturday game, Christmas. What's going on? Are we going to have 24 more people out, or what's going on? What's your prediction?
Well, the thing about it is that there's a possibility. You never know. And they made adjustments for the COVID, but it might not be enough because you still got to pass that test. If you don't pass that test, then you're not on the football field. So it's up in the air. And who knows what's going to actually happen? We can only hope and pray that a lot of those guys that playing on offense as well as defense are able to just come up and show up and play good football on Sunday. But it's a toss-up. And you look around, it's happening in the whole league now.
Yeah.
And so it's one of the worst things that could have happened. But again, now it teaches them that they have to make some more adjustments and to handle the situation differently. And they made some changes this year because they said originally that if you had COVID and they were not canceling in the game, you were automatically going to forfeit those games.
Yeah.
But the problem is they didn't understand and players didn't understand is that if they forfeit that game, that means they're forfeiting a paycheck. So right. if the Browns forfeit the game, then you're gonna look at the Raiders being forfeited checks because the game was not played. So right. you got to look at that situation. Look at all the ways that they're doing things, and I think that they're doing a yeoman's job for what they've done so far, because people in all other sports look at the NFL and they see exactly what they're doing, and then they just adjust themselves accordingly to what they're doing with their sports.
Right. The Carswell said the comment was, "What can we expect when most of our players are out. And they said we played a damn good game. Would have won if we wouldn't have missed the field goal.
Yeah, I hear you on that field goal, but to go back to what Cleo said, that 3rd and 3 and you run the ball, if you watched the Raiders, basically 9 of their 11 defenders go right to where Nick Chubb was. If they could just have done a tight end play action there, maybe roll the fullback out of the backfield, out of that formation, I think he could have walked into the end zone, because there wouldn't have been a single Raider on the other side of that field if Nick Mullins, play action rolls out. He could, there'd have been 50 yards in front of that guy. And last year, they did that. They went for the kill.
Game. They did it in that game earlier.
Yeah, they did.
They did a play like that in that game that they played this past week.
Right.
They
got him a first down.
Run the ball and then roll out and went to the other side and threw a touchdown.
I know. And the thing is, it's like last year they went for the kill game in and game out. They had no fear whatsoever. And like you said, the conservatism that has been happening this year, it really bothers me. It's like, what happened, man? You don't have to stop being a gunslinger. And I know Mayfield hasn't been at his best this year, but he's been injured a lot of the year too. So you can't always say that, it was a regression on his part. The guy in some cases, like just about probably every football player at this time of year, he's got like 19 injuries right now. I'm being facetious, but it's true. He's limping around just like everybody else. So I don't know. Don't ever coach or play scared. You just go out there and you know what? If they throw on 3rd and 3, it's an incomplete pass. I would have felt a lot better about that versus, I know Nick Chubb he's starting to have a real great, 3rd and 4th quarter, but go for it, man. Go for the kill. You get to that 2-minute warning, you kneel down, that game's over, and you're walking away with a victory.
Man, speaking of Nick Chubb did his thing, right? If it wasn't for Nick Chubb, who scored the 2 touchdowns? Was it Chubb?
Nick Chubb and Harrison Bryant. And I'll tell you what, Nick Mullins getting away from that pressure to throw that touchdown pass to Harrison Bryant was excellent. For a 3rd-string quarterback, had 1 day of practice. Overall, I guess that was, what else could you expect from the guy from 1 day of practice? I thought he did pretty terrific, to be perfectly honest, for 1 day of practice. Yeah. He did enough to win that game. It's just some of those other guys. I don't want to bag on the coaches because they're not necessarily out there playing in the field, but my word, some of that play calling just it's killed me all season to watch it.
Right. Hey, Cleo. Speaking of Nick Mullins. What did you think about Nick Mullins, and what can you see him?
Well, the thing about it, he did an excellent job, but you got to understand he wasn't exactly green behind the ear, because he was in the training camp for the Cleveland Browns anyway, so he knew the system pretty much, and he had run and practiced with the guys for a long period of time. But to be away from it for as long as he was and involved in somebody else's system, and then come back to this system and then play the type of game that he had, it was excellent. Granted, he didn't do that well in the first part of in the first half, but he came back in and made atonement for himself and played an excellent game. So you can't fault him in terms of what actually happened and how he did it. He did a great job, under the circumstances.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. And he did start. He's had plenty of starts when he was at San Francisco. So you're right. It wasn't as if this guy just came off the street, never started a game before, rookie kind of guy. He's got experience. And I thought he played exactly how he should have managed that game with the short time that he had to practice and get ready. There were some players on the team, Donovan Peoples-Jones, dropping a couple of those passes. He wasn't getting some help on that end. But I think overall, the offensive line did an excellent job for him last night. I don't think he got sacked once yesterday. So they had 2, new offensive linemen playing yesterday as well, because they lost 3 or 4 of their other offensive linemen as well to COVID. So, I mean, overall, it's a heartbreaker, and I guess you could probably talk this one to death, I bet, but they just got
You
to pick
can,
themselves up by the bootstraps.
yeah, they have to. But again, too, when you look at that defense, I mean, I mean, it was devastated with injuries,
Yeah.
and then you got Garrett that went out too because he got hurt.
Yep.
And so when you have situations like that, you got guys that are trying their best to do things and not used to playing, and especially in a game that of that magnitude, and there was a lot of pressure on them to go out there and perform and try to win that game because that was a playoff game. And
Yeah,
so
it's no doubt. Yeah.
when you have a team that's together, and then granted that they've been playing bad, but they played just well enough to beat us in the game.
Right.
So again, those guys did a yeoman's job. And while it had a couple of things, the ball bounced a couple ways
Yep.
to their favor, they could have easily won that game.
Right.
Yeah, and if a defense is only giving up 16 points a game, I think the past 5 or 6 weeks that defense has been incredible. Since that Chargers game, I would say they've only had maybe one other game that I could think of where there were some holes in the defense. But overall, if you're giving up less than 20 points a game in the NFL, you should be winning more games than not, especially with the turnovers that they started to get now. Over the past 3 or 4 games, they're really able to get those turnovers. And you get 4 in one game against a team, and you can't turn that into a win. Something's got to give, man. Something's got to give.
Oh yes.
Hey man, we need the Browns to be healthy, wealthy, and wise this Saturday, Christmas, man. I just put my "Welcome Like a Dog" mask on, man, because I'm
I was wondering what you put on there. I was like,
I'm
do you have a
trying-
mask on?
I'm trying not to spread COVID no more further, man, so we don't get no more players out this Saturday. We need everybody we can get, man. Everybody.
I'll tell you, I'll go along with 2 of the things you said. You said healthy, wealthy, and wise. All I want them to be on Sunday is healthy and wise. They don't have to worry about the money. Healthy and wise
Hey,
to go out there
we'll take the wealth.
and be able to. Huh?
said they
Well,
got-
they already got that.
Yeah.
They already got
Yeah.
that. And that wealth has nothing to do with that game on Sunday.
So
But their health and being wise has a lot to do with it.
so we can split that wealth. Me and you and Patrick can split the wealth then. They give us some of that. They can give us some of that wealth.
I'll take it, man. My bank account's wide open. You want to wire that over? I'll be happy.
No, but seriously, I had to do that. Was a little shameless plug. We got merchandise here. We got the Walk Up Like a Dog
Oh,
face masks. We got T-shirts, yard signs, all type of stuff, man. So y'all support, man. If anybody
hey, wait a minute, That's not a shameless. That's not shameless. What is this program? Walking like a dog.
That's right.
And
That's right.
And so you got to push that and let that, get it out there so people know exactly what it. Don't be ashamed about that whatsoever. Hey, if I had a program, I'd be doing the same thing. I might be showing a lot more than what you're doing right now.
So hey Cleo, did we get you a shirt yet, Cleo?
No, I don't have one.
What size you need, Cleo?
2X.
2A. Pat, we got to get you a shirt. What size you need, Pat?
Medium.
Hey, Cleo, we need you to. Speaking of coaching, Cleo, you think we could talk?
Yes.
Talk to. I think Patrick can arrange something. We can talk to the Haslam, man. We need you on the sideline a little bit or something, man. I think. What y'all think about the coaching, man? Seriously.
No, I don't think you need me on the side. As my standard saying to people now when they talk about coaching, I don't want to get out there. I'll go out there and I'll play 3 positions and I'll do it cheaper than anybody else. the end, the tackle, and the guard position.
So
I want to get to the field, play the end,
but
sit on the end of the bench, guard the water bucket, and tackle first one gets there.
Cleo, I think you.
I don't want to get no closer.
I think you can coach better than what we're seeing. I ain't gonna lie. I'm complaining
What?
about the coaching. What y'all think about the coaching on some of this stuff right here, man?
No, my time has passed. Let someone else get out there and be able to do that. I enjoyed it while I was out there, and I can sit back and look at it, and I can give some advice or say a few things, but I don't have the wherewithal or the mindset to go back out there and coach with these guys today.
What about you, Pat? What's up with the coaching, man? You kind of
So
hinted towards that a little bit.
yeah, I kind of started talking about it a little bit. What a difference a year makes, as a coach. I mean, he wins coach of the year last year, and then this year I don't know if it's, he's nervous, to call a play because he doesn't have enough trust in his quarterback, or it's been, he has, done some of those fourth down analytics type plays and they burned him in the past. It hasn't really worked for him this year. I don't know if it's maybe some trust in the other coaches to not, do play calling. I thought Van Pelt did okay last night, but I think overall it's just they're playing or coaching not to lose, instead of coaching to win regardless of what happens. Just
Mm-hmm.
I always felt like, and granted I never coached in the NFL and I probably never will, but like when I coached, baseball and football and other sports, in high school, I would rather, go out guns a-blazing than feel like, well, I missed a few plays out there, or I didn't call those things that I thought could work. Give it a shot. I mean, these guys are amazing athletes. It's like sometimes just throwing a ball up into the end zone because your wide receiver, give him a chance to catch that ball in the back of the end zone. I feel sort of the same way with kind of Kevin Stefanski calling some plays to
Yeah.
let your players make the plays, and if it doesn't happen, is what it is. You know what? I know people would be ticked off. They probably would talk about it the next day if, Baker or Nick Mullins or anybody throws a pick. But I mean,
Well,
don't walk away feeling like you missed something.
yeah, the thing you have to look at, the football is a game of adjustments,
Yep.
and because teams look at films and stuff. If you're consistently doing this, consistently doing the same old thing, they're gonna know exactly what you need to do, what they need to do to actually defend you.
Right.
And so when you see something along that line, and you know that the teams are playing you a certain way, you got to be able to go back in that playbook, and you got to be able to adjust. If you do not adjust, you're not going to win the game. Last year you got away with things because they didn't have film on you.
Yeah,
They
still
got
a new
film
playbook.
on you.
Yeah.
They know exactly what you're doing. If you show them the same old thing, they're going to know how to react to you and beat you. You got to come with something different. You can't be vanilla and chocolate all the time. You got to be able to mix it up, and that's what that they're not doing. It's
Right.
not about being scared. I don't think it's about adjustments
Yeah.
and being smart and looking at what the defense or offense is doing to you, and then make adjustments with it. If you don't make those adjustments, you're gonna get kicked, get beat left and right, all kinds of ways. Because talent is talent, and everybody's got talent on their teams.
Right.
But if you give that advantage to that team, they're gonna take advantage, and then you lose. So
Right.
that's what I think that more so than anything else is that those coaches, they're outsmarting themselves and not looking at what's actually happening. Look at the talent you got on the football team. Know what they can do and use that talent to your advantage when you're out there on the football field.
So yeah,
But
let
you
me ask
can't
you.
just cut. Excuse me?
No, I was going to say, with Coach Sam, when you guys were playing back in the '80s, what were those halftime talks like? What were some of those things where, hey man, we need to make adjustments? I mean, I have to ask.
Good question.
Let me
Can you share those
say to
secrets
you,
with us?
what was Coach Sam's nickname?
Mm-hmm. What
I'm
was
not old enough. I'm too young to remember
They
that.
they called him the Riverboat Gambler.
There you go. Yeah.
it?
And so the when Sam was coaching, we didn't have an offensive coordinator. Or I take that back. We had about 7 or 8 offensive coordinators. And you know who those coordinators were?
Sam
They were
Ratigliano.
they were players.
Oh yeah.
They were players who had incentive clauses and stuff inside their contract, and then so they would go up to Sam and Sam, I think I can beat this guy. I can beat that guy. You call this player, that player. We can do this and we can do that. Sam wasn't gambling. He was gambling on what those guys told him that was able, what we're able to do, and to beat guys and win. So if you got guys, and you know these guys know what they can do, listen to those guys. Sometimes they can tell you what they can or can't do when it comes to defense. Playing if you're defense or if you're on the offense, vice versa. So that's what actually happened a lot of times when we were playing. Those guys would go up to coach and say, "Coach, I think I can beat this guy this way or that way. I think this player will work that way."
Nice.
And then that's what actually happened.
Right. Hey, the Carswells, I got to give it up to them, the husband and wife that's commenting here.
They're blowing up.
They got our chat room lit, y'all. They said, hold on. Devin A. Carswell says, my son said he wanted to become a water boy so he can work his way up to coaching.
Not bad.
Oh, hey, that's been done. That's been done a lot.
Eric Mangini.
It has been done a lot.
All right, William.
So don't laugh at it.
Right, I understand.
Don't laugh at it.
You're right. I can imagine. William Carswell says he needs to incorporate the relievers more in
receivers.
I'm sorry. It says relievers, but they really that may be the need to do.
We're going Major League Baseball right now.
But still, they need some relief. So the relievers is appropriate, I think, right now. So
right.
They need to incorporate some more relievers in his scheme, and he's coaching like that even last year. That's what he said. So, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I will say, and I want to get back to some more of Cleo's playing days because I really want to hear some stories. But the thing is that right now the Browns don't really have a dominant number one receiver anymore. If that's one area, I will say that they don't. Not that Odell was playing, I guess, to the ability that Odell Beckham can play at.
No, he never activated.
Jarvis Landry is an excellent player too, but he's a slot receiver. He's not that outside receiver that can, is 6'3", can beat you down the field. Donovan Peoples-Jones, I hope could be that. But I mean, last night, he dropped a couple of passes that, he shouldn't have. It's just, that's one area that I guess the Browns, if we're looking at next season, say they don't make the playoffs this year, that I hope they can improve upon, as well as kicker. They haven't had a good kicker since Phil Dawson. So,
well, let me take you back a few years in the history of the Cleveland Browns.
Well, take us back.
Let me take you back the time before they had an Odell Beckham.
Okay.
Who did they have out there that was a leading receiver and stuff on the team? They had great chemistry and stuff with the quarterback.
Was it Hanford
or
Menifee?
And somehow or another, they just politely just push him to the curb.
Hanford, Menifee, Newsom.
Huh?
Hanford.
That was
Webster Slaughter.
That guy is on the team right now, and his number is number 82.
Oh, Rashard Higgins. Yeah, he does have great chemistry.
Higgins,
yeah.
Go back.
Higgins ain't bad. Higgins is not bad.
So now, what I'm saying to you is that, and I know that players become victim of circumstances.
Right. I
started for the Cleveland Browns for 4 years before Mike Pruitt. When Mike Pruitt was drafted as the number one draft choice, he sit on the bench for 4 years behind me, and out of free agent, he was number one draft choice. Politics has a lot to do with the game.
Yeah.
And when I say that, you brought in a guy who's supposed to be an all-world, but you had a guy that's doing the job and doing it just as good or better than what that all-world guy was doing.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying you look at the personnel and stuff you have, put those guys in the position and stuff that that can help your team and what they're used to. If you do that, you got personnel, you got talent and stuff on the team. That guy should have been playing for the last 4 or 5 games. You didn't know where he was. He wasn't nowhere close to the field.
Yeah, I loved what he said about himself too. When they asked him, what kind of receiver are you? He's like, I'm a catch of the ball kind of receiver.
Right.
What a great line. And he does. Right. He really has stick him.
I'm saying you got guys like that. Give them the opportunity and put them in the position they can do it.
Yeah.
You got the guy that came from Michigan that was drafted up there, and I don't think that Higgins was really drafted up high. But you got the guys coming that's dropping the balls and stuff. Whereas this guy is a horse when you go out there and play it. Put him back in the natural position that he was, as opposed to the other guys not drafting, catching the ball, and see where you go. And
Yeah, I hear you.
And that can happen along a whole all through the offense with guys who got talent to do certain things. You didn't know about the Ernest Johnson until the other guys got hurt. You got 4 running backs that the Browns got that are great.
Yeah.
So how many other situations do you have like that with players in different positions?
They have a lot of depth in many areas on this team for sure. It just I don't know. Somebody's got to step up then, and I agree with you. I think Rashard Higgins is excellent. He catches the ball every time it comes to him. It's very rare that he drops the ball. He's got great chemistry with Baker. I don't know, man.
So these are things that a lot of people don't pay attention to. You got to pay attention to all these things and go back to yesteryears and look at and see what talent that they had, what guys were doing before they brought in other guys.
Yeah. That's so true. And you know what? If I had an eraser, I'd wipe the eraser, all the chalk off the chalkboard, and let's go 3 games left. Let's start from scratch.
But I understand the politics of it. Sometimes coaches are put in positions and stuff to do certain things that they don't really want to do. But because they've been told that they have to do these things, they do it regardless of whether it's going to help the team or hurt the team. If you don't do what needs to be done, then you run the risk of being an ex-coach quicker than you want to be.
Right.
Well, so those are the things you look at, because there's nowhere in the world that Baker Mayfield should have been out there playing hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to try to, is it because you're trying to prove that you're a He-Man? Is it trying to prove that you're worthy of a big contract, or are you trying to win with the team? Look at the NFL. Look at all the other teams that quarterbacks and stuff got hurt. Those guys sit.
Yeah, they do.
Sit.
You're right.
Guys superstars. They sit. If it took a game or so for them to sit, they sit.
Yeah.
So basically,
but that didn't happen with the Browns.
So you're saying
we probably could have been. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
So there's a lot of mistakes. There's a lot of mistakes that have been made this year.
Yep.
And poor decisions that have been made, but you learn from it and you move forward.
Right. I'm like Patrick said. Last year, seems like it definitely was our offense was a lot better last year, as far as receiving. We lost.
Yeah, it clicked.
Yeah, it clicked a lot better. It just seemed like nobody's. You just kind of question, is the receiving even there? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I agree with what Cleo said, though. They're there. They have the talent to make the plays. It's about execution at this point.
Yeah. All right, so let me just give a little shout out, because we got Welcome Like a Dog basically has one of our first sponsors. We want to give it up for Limited CBD. Give it up for them, yeah. Because they actually are giving some products away, and they're sponsoring us. We got this product right here is it's a roll-on CBD premium cold therapy, and it basically helps you out with pain. Has menthol crystals in it, and peppermint oil. And
doesn't have bath salts or anything, right? You
no
can't
bath
worry
salts.
about those bath salts.
No bath salts. You don't smoke it. You just roll it on, your joints and stuff.
Yeah.
You have pain.
I'm just messing around. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they also do have some stuff that you can't smoke too. So they gave us some of that. So we could pass that out. But if anybody wants to get some of that, this product right here, limited CBD, shoot us a message or call us on our phone that's showing on the screen right now, 440-305-7245. Giving up for Limited CBD.
Nice.
All right.
So
go ahead.
let's let's try to move past this game
That's what I was gonna say.
and talk a little bit about this game coming up Saturday. And then from there,
Please,
you know, to end this show, I want stories from Cleo Band. I cannot leave this podcast without it. So
we gotta get
let's
how
talk.
many stories you want from Cleo? Just one.
Oh, just one, great memories. Some of the things that he takes from his time playing. Just some of those
All right,
things.
we'll end it with a Cleo story. But let's go ahead to Green Bay. We got Green Bay coming, right? What's their record? What's their record, Pat?
They're
they're leading
10
the
and
whole
3,
NFL.
10 and 3, or
They
11
leading
and
the
2.
whole. Hold on, Cleo. You said they leading the.
They have the
whole-
best record. Yeah, they have the best record in NFL right now.
And we
Yeah,
gotta play them.
It's
That's what
10
you
and
telling
4.
me? We gotta play them.
Yeah.
We gotta
they're
play them.
11 and 3.
Yeah.
11 and 3. Yeah.
Cleo, we gotta play them, man.
Yes.
Okay. So, do we need to talk any further?
No. You misunderstood what I said earlier too, didn't you?
No, you said any given Sunday.
Any given
right?
Sunday. Yep.
But we playing Saturday now. Just remember that.
Any given day.
Yeah.
Any given
Any
day.
given
You
day
did say any
that you
given
play a
day.
football game.
So it don't matter that we playing Saturday on Christmas
Doesn't matter.
against the best team in the NFL. It don't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I really
think
hope.
What you think? You think it matter, Pat?
I really no, it doesn't necessarily matter at this point. On paper, the Browns are still one of the most talented teams in the NFL. Their defense has been playing phenomenally. Green Bay barely got past a very diminished Ravens defense right now. I mean, I don't think the Ravens have a single starting cornerback at this point playing for them that started the year. I mean, they're using practice squad players at this point. And hiring people off the street, to kind of come in and play. So, do I think a healthier version? You get Delpit back, you get Ronnie Harrison back. I know you lost John Johnson, but you can get hopefully Greg Newsome back from the concussion protocol. If you come back with your entire starting, backfield, both cornerbacks, 3 cornerbacks. I wish Troy Hill would be back. That would be great. But that's a huge lift. If you get your linebackers healthy again, you get Jadeveon Clowney back on the defensive line. Defensively, I think they're in great shape. It really just comes down to, can they execute on offense? Because, again, like Cleo said, they can win any game. They have the talent on paper to do it. It just really comes down to execution because, Aaron Rodgers is having another MVP season. He's having a terrific season. So they're going to score points. So it just comes down to shutting that down to a point where your offense can score at least an extra field goal, hopefully, and execute on that. It may come down to that field goal again.
Wow. Cleo?
Yeah, it as I said earlier, the key to it is execution and health.
Yep.
Those guys are healthy. I mean, and relatively free from where they'll be able to just go out and perform their duties. Then hey, I like their chances. I truly do, because Green Bay has not played the caliber. While they may be leading, but they have not played the caliber football that sets the world on fire.
Yeah.
And so the Browns can match them head to head if they're healthy. Then now again, it shows you that if you look at them, that they've shown flashes all year in terms of what they are capable of doing. And now it's where the rubber meets the road. And it's unfortunate this past week that the COVID came in, because there was a great opportunity for the Cleveland Browns to just go ahead on out there and take over first place, and then not really look back too much and just take care of business. So anything can actually happen. Well, let's just hope and pray that the guys are healthy or reasonably healthy, where you can feel a competitive team, a truly competitive team against the other guys. Not that they're not going to be competitive anyway, but the talent matching talent out there on that football field during that day, and then we have a chance.
So
yeah, I don't disagree.
Devin A. Carswell says, so unfair that politics plays a part. I can never be a coach. because I am not going to play politics. Uh, yep. She says preach for whatever you were just commenting on, fellas. She says preach. And Tamika Barnes says you look good, baby. That's my wife. Tamika Barnes Tate. I'm sorry. All right. So let me just say a couple things, man. Everybody that's watching, we appreciate the audience tuning in, and we are watching the Walk 'Em Like a Dog podcast. Give it up. And just so you know, Walk 'Em Like a Dog is a movement. We actually have the number one anthem, Walk 'Em Like a Dog. That's the Cleveland Browns anthem that we're looking to make that official real soon. It's basically four components. We got the Cleveland Browns Walk 'Em Like a Dog anthem. We got the Cleveland Browns. I'm sorry, not Cleveland Browns. We have the Walk 'Em Like a Dog merchandise, and we have the slogan, and it's going to be a household name pretty soon. A lot of people are saying "Walk 'Em Like a Dog, Walk 'Em Like a Dog." Then we also got the podcast, of course, which you're watching now, and then we also have something called Game Day Fun Tailgating, and we have been going around to different sports bars doing Game Day Fun Tailgating and performing the Walk 'Em Like a Dog song. We do some free giveaways, merchandise, shirts, and things like that. And we also do a live broadcast of our podcast. And when we pull up, you'll know we at the bar, because when you're driving past, you can't miss us, because we got like two big 10 by 20 billboard trucks that are parked right outside. So it attracts a lot of people. And we had yesterday at the game, while the game was going on, actually, we were at Flood's Urban Seafood and Grill on 260th and Euclid. Give it up for Flood's Urban Seafood and Grill. And we had a ball there, y'all. And we was going through it, man. The Browns, the first half, it was very somber in that bar. And we was, Browns might do a little something. We'll play Walk 'Em Like a Dog for a minute, but people wasn't feeling it. They was like, faces was sad. They was drinking, eating, and it was just somber in there. We had our merchandise, had our whole crew in there. We had our Walk 'Em Like a Dog models there. And then after halftime, when we scored that touchdown, OG said, "Mick, play Walk 'Em Like a Dog." And we put a song on. People started, you could see them. They was getting pumped in. It was like, "Walk 'Em Like a Dog." And people was going crazy. And then when we scored that second touchdown, the bar just lit up and turned up. But then we lost at the end. That was pretty sad. I need a sad sound right now.
Wah, 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 wah.
Man, we got live sound effects. That's why we got Pat, man, because he brings the live sound effects, man. We was sad, man. Did I say we was sad? We was sad when we lost, man. One more time with that sound effect, man.
Wah, 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 wah.
But the thing is, we played the song again at the end, and people was still, pumped up. They wasn't pumped as they would if we would have won. But everybody knows the reason why. Because the Cleveland Browns fans are die-hard fans. I mean, they're probably one of the biggest fan bases in NFL.
In the world,
in
yeah.
The world.
Not probably. They are.
Yeah, Cleveland's right. I think they are the biggest in the world.
Please correct me, but they are. And I think they're in the Guinness Book of World Records, aren't they?
Let me tell you something about the Browns fans. They're the greatest fans there in the world. And one thing you have to understand and know, no other fans have done anything close to what the Cleveland Browns fans have done. They have shut down the whole entire NFL. When the Browns left town, the Cleveland Browns fans shut down the whole entire NFL. They could not have. They had the phone numbers for all of the offices. They had they flooded the lobbies and stuff with all the different type of mails and stuff. They couldn't do anything, and so they put it. Once they got through, the NFL hurry up and awarded them a franchise and made sure that the tradition and the colors and everything of the organization stayed here. And they also had a law that no other team could get up and leave without getting permission from the whole league to go move forward or go to another city. So you got the greatest fans in the world when it comes to the Cleveland Browns. Back in the day, what people are looking at and why the Browns are so special is because before you had what they call the Super Bowl, they had American Championship games.
Yep.
Nobody won more games than the Cleveland Browns during that era.
Yep.
So teams have the game has a tendency to go through different phases, different eras. It just so happens this is a Super Bowl era now. And who's to say that the Browns can't come back or won't come back in another era, and even before this era is over with, and continue that history and tradition that they basically had and done over the years. So they talk about the Dallas Cowboys being the America's team. No, the Cleveland Browns is America's team.
So,
I agree with that.
So you said the Cleveland Browns have done what no team in the NFL has done before. I can see that, and I really agree with that. But I want to add to that. I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. Has any team went 0-16 and then had a parade through for them? Is that history too?
Well, I guess you might say it is.
Yeah. We were just celebrating. That's all. You know, we needed a reason to get out and celebrate mediocrity. That's all. We still love them anyway. I mean, we still pack the stadium the next year after that. So who cares, right?
But then again, you can go back to say that shows you what the Cleveland Browns fans are.
Exactly.
And how much they love their team.
I agree with that 100%.
Hey, Milan Hutchinson, that's out of Atlanta, says, "Oh, terrible." That's his comment. Just terrible. Just one word.
It's terrible.
So we about to wrap it up soon. We're gonna let Cleo in with his one of his stories that Pat wants to really know.
Absolutely, I'm ready.
Right before
There's so many.
Well, give us. But before you do that, Cleo, I want to talk about the Packers one more time.
Okay.
We play this. What time do we play this Saturday?
4:30, I think.
4:30. We win against the Packers. Pretty much going to the playoffs or not. And if we lose to the Packers, you covered this a little bit. I want to go a little bit more in depth, Cleo.
If they lose, it's over. If they lose the playoffs, if they lose on Saturday, they can kiss the playoffs goodbye. I think they only have about, depending on what the Ravens and the Bengals do on Sunday, their percentages go down precipitously at that point.
But they're still breathing. They're still alive.
They are. Yeah, they're on life support. But
it has happened before.
Certainly has. Stranger things have occurred.
That's right. So it can happen again.
Okay.
So,
but we win.
Leo,
we win. What's up with that? We win.
Well, then you got to wait. You just got to wait. No, I was just saying you just got to wait at that point. You know, you got to wait and see on Sunday what Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh does. So, the good thing is that they're playing that Saturday, so they kind of get ahead of the game if they happen to win. And they can sit kind of in the catbird seat there for a minute and see what happens on Sunday with the other three teams.
Well, and then there's another possibility, too. You got to look at the whole entire AFC.
Right.
And see what those teams are doing. There's still the possibility that they can get in as a wild card team, too.
That's absolutely right. Yep. It's not totally dead, but it's on life support. I mean, you're breathing heavy, man. There might be a do not resuscitate at that point.
Are we on life support now, or are we going into life support?
Yeah.
And it depends on
life support.
We on life support now. Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to clear it up.
They're at the mercy of a lot of teams now. They win yesterday. They're kind of they're
They're in the driver's seat.
They're in the driver's seat. Yeah, they're holding themselves much more accountable, and they don't have to worry about a lot of things other than just handle your own business. Now they got to see these other teams, and then now it's kind of win or go home at this point. I mean, yesterday was a tough game. They really needed to win that, but there's just a lot more things that have to happen
Right.
for them to be able to kind of hit themselves into the playoffs.
Hey,
Right.
Pat, I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think you noticed, man, but I think do we got matching hats on, man? Kind of or something.
I think we do. Yeah, I think so.
Hey, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to my man OG Shanksta. Give it up for OG Shanksta.
All right.
That's my
Way to go,
partner.
Pete.
We made the Cleveland Browns anthem together along with Sir Rock 216. And we're going to get out of here. But before we get out of here, Cleo, give us a story, man. Something nobody ain't never heard. Just something good, man. We need some type of inspiration right now, don't we, Pat?
Give you some type of inspiration. The thing that I'd have to talk about my former roommate and teammate that was in the backfield with me.
Greg Pruitt.
Greg Pruitt.
Give it up for Greg Pruitt.
And so Greg had this thing. You have to realize that every year that I was in the backfield with Greg gained 1,000 yards, and
Wow.
the year they took me out of the backfield with Greg got his leg broken, and they traded him to the Oakland Raiders.
Oh wow.
And hold on, and then he won a Super Bowl, right?
And he won a Super Bowl.
Okay.
But it goes back to what I said earlier. Every year I was in the backfield with Greg, he gained 1,000 yards because I blocked for Greg.
Right.
And Greg never really blocked for me. So he got his fame and glory one year, and I think it was back in 1978 when we played against the Buffalo Bills. O.J. Simpson was playing during that time.
Oh wow.
And Greg was not the featured back during that time. I was the featured back during that time, and I outjuiced O.J. Simpson, gave more yards than he did in that game. And Greg had went around proud, saying, "I told you I could block it."
That's a good story.
And Greg to this day says, they use that anytime people say something about he can't block, he goes back to that game. See, I told you, Cleo, no, whatever. So that's a memory that you don't lose because, first of all, O.J. Simpson was the leading rusher in the NFL during that time.
Yeah.
And I gained more yards, and the headline said, O.J. outjuiced.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's amazing.
Wow.
What a great story.
That's a great story. Man, that's a great story. Hey,
That was a perfect one.
man, before we get out of here, man, I just want to say, man, this is kind of crazy to y'all probably, but honestly, I am not a football person per se.
You're a fanatic.
Per se, yeah. I actually am not a football fan. I didn't really watch football. I really don't watch it now, but I do watch every Browns game. I'm a Browns fanatic, but I don't even watch no other football. And a lot of people may think that's strange. I've been in entertainment all my life, but my partner OG Shanksta is an avid football fanatic.
He's a monster.
Always a monster. So are you, Pat, and so I'm sure, and so is Cleo. That's a given. But I just love my city. I love the Cleveland Browns, and my father was, bless his soul, he was an avid football fan and Browns fanatic, and that rubbed off on me all these years, even though he's no longer with us. But I just wanted to say, man, I love the Cleveland Browns. It's exciting to just be in the times we are in, even though we have this pandemic. I said pandemic called COVID-19, and I'm just happy to have you guys on the show, and we're gonna pretty much end the show here, man. Any last words you guys want to say?
Well, I'll say this: win, lose, or draw, we still love the Cleveland Browns.
Right.
Again, And we love the fans who come out and actually support the team. It's not all over. It's never over until it's over. So don't give up the hope. Keep fighting with the team. Keep cheering for the team. And let's cheer our Browns on to a win this coming Sunday.
Man, please do. Everybody, let us pray. Let us pray. Hey, Pat, give it up for Patrick Antos and Cleo Miller.
Thanks for having me again, McKinley. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
Cleo,
Hey,
it's been a pleasure having you on.
Yeah,
this has been great.
Hold on, this is actually both of you guys' second time on the show. Cleo Miller been on once, Patrick been on once. Again, give it up for Patrick Antos and Cleo Miller. And we are about to end this show and play the video, Walk Like a Dog. The Walk 'em Like a Dog video, actually, this is the official video for Walk 'em Like a Dog. And we just released this video actually about 3 weeks ago. And 3 weeks ago, once we put it out there, it started gaining momentum really fast. And right now I'm looking at the views right here. 3 weeks and we already have over 75,000 views on this song, y'all. Give it up for Walk 'em Like a Dog. We need y'all to share this podcast. We are creating a Walk 'em Like a Dog movement. Walk 'em Like a Dog is going to be a household name, and we're going to do some type of partnership with the Cleveland Browns. But we need your support. We need the fans behind us before that can happen. Behind Walk 'em Like a Dog. And all of our fans that are watching and supporting us, we call our fans dog walkers. So give it up for all our dog walkers. And Mick Beats signing off. And we about to put on the Walk 'em Like a Dog video, y'all. Good night. Peace.
Take care, everybody.
You know who running the city?
Cleo, man, it was wonderful. I'm so happy that you were on today, man. It's been great.
Great. I enjoyed it too, Pat. Thank you.
All right. Hey, take it easy. Yeah, God bless you too. Happy holidays.
Same for you.
All right, take it easy.
You know who running the city? You know who running the city? The Cleveland Browns getting gritty, like tap water from a city. You know who running the city? You know who running the city? The Cleveland Browns getting gritty, like tap water from a city. I got the keys to my city. The dog pound is getting gritty. They stampeding through the city. Hey, Cleveland's on fire. Come check out the city. The Browns is hot like it's sunny. We tailgating every Sunday, like prime time on the Monday. We hitting them hard and leaving them running. Hey, Miles Garrett is a beast. It's hard to keep him on the leash. You don't believe me? Check the street. We hot in the kitchen and bringing the heat. Baker Mayfield on the field. The competition getting killed. Odell Beckham running routes. We had to get him out the house. Stephen A. Shut your mouth. My city's on fire. Ain't no putting it out. You know who running the city. You know who running the city. The Cleveland Browns getting gritty, like tap water from a city. You know who running the city. You know who running the city. The Cleveland Browns getting gritty, like tap water from a city.
Man, I'm trying to stay focused. The NFL, it won't let me. It's like it's pounding inside me. Sometimes I think it's behind me.
You know who running the city. You know who running the city. The Cleveland Browns getting gritty, like tap water from a city. You know who running the city. You know who running the city. The Cleveland Browns getting gritty, like tap water from a city. Cut the whole city down the ride. We keep a spirit in the sky. We 747 bound. Yeah, we ain't never coming down. You just drop us off in the stands with 100,000 Brown fans. You know what's going down with the orange and brown. You better back it up. We ain't playing. Hey, fair shake ain't no robbery. I'm a Brown fan, so don't knock me. If they win or lose, I ain't singing the blues. We still cheering them on. You can't stop me. We pushing through cause we coming. Get Chill the ball and he's running. Who ain't the future in stunting. We a playoff team, so stop fronting. You know who running the city. You know who running the city. The Cleveland Browns getting gritty, like tap water from a city. You know who running the city. You know who running the city. The Cleveland Browns getting gritty, like tap water from a city. You know who running the city. You know who running the city. The Cleveland Browns getting gritty, like tap water from a city. You know who running the city. You know who running the city. The Cleveland Browns getting gritty, like tap water from a city.
Walk 'em like a dog. 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 We gon' walk 'em like a dog. 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 'em like a dog.